I hate to break it to you. I'm going to share some really unfortunate news with you, but you've been stuck in making low amounts of money from a YouTube channel, and it's not your fault. Gurus have been lying to you for years. They've been lying to you and telling you the best ways to make money, and they've been keeping a secret from you. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the 15 worst ways to make money on YouTube. And if we have time at the very end, I'm going to give you what I recommend that you should do, because it's what I do. And in fact, it's what the most successful YouTubers are doing. So I want you to stop chasing the low payouts, the low converting things, and actually do stuff that puts money in your pocket. You'll be happier, you'll be less stressful, and you'll be able to meet your income goals a little bit easier. If you're relying on these methods that I'm going to share with you in this video, you're probably seeing inconsistent income. You are probably having to make videos that maybe you're not passionate or interested in, and so you are just kind of on that content hamster wheel. Hi, my name is Austin Godbolt, and I create platform-proof content. I create content to help you realize the best ways to monetize your YouTube channel and your content so that you aren't chasing the algorithm, so that you're not trying to go viral all the time, and you can actually create good content. So let's go ahead and get into these worst ways, ranked from first to worst, I guess. Number 15 is starting a channel membership too early. Now, if you don't know, a channel membership essentially is you are going to create exclusive videos, and you're going to have a little membership, a little community, kind of like a Patreon, where community members are going to pay you every single month for more content and more videos, and maybe even some exclusivity. Now, on the surface, it's great. It sounds like a good idea because you are going to be getting monthly reoccurring revenue, which I'm a huge fan of. You don't have to start off at zero every single month. However, I think that a lot of people start it way too early. As soon as they get 10,000 subscribers, boom, they're putting on a channel membership. But their following, their community might not be there yet. And so they're rushing into it. And then they wind up being frustrated with the results. And what you've got to realize when it comes to these memberships is, unless you have a decent sized following already, it's going to be a trickle. And you're going to start off with maybe 2 members, and then 5 members, and then you might go down to 3 because people are leaving. While channel memberships aren't terrible, it's not the worst thing on this list. If you start it too early, you're going to be frustrated. You're not going to want to make extra videos. Your community won't be a community, and you're going to leave money on the table. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of reoccurring revenue. It's one of the income streams that I have, but I did mine almost too late. I did mine later, and so when I finally launched it, I had a pretty successful launch. I also did it off the platform, which allowed me to make more money. That is another issue, right? If you do a channel membership, you have to split the income with YouTube. However, if you do it off of the platform, you can keep more of the money. There are tons of platforms out there that will allow you to do the memberships, and they have a fixed cost. They have the same cost every single month, and so you're not giving away more money as more people join or jump on. But that's number 1. Number 15, excuse me. Number 14, we've got print on demand merch as your first product. A lot of people will rush to merch, and I think merch is a very short-sighted, not a very good idea, simply because not everybody's going to be interested in wearing your logo. Very rarely are you going to have a large enough community where you're going to get a significant amount of money from people just wearing your logo or, your brand. A lot of people, while they have a connection with YouTubers, it's not a strong connection like it is with Nike. And so you're going to be leaving out a lot of money on the table, a lot of better opportunities if you believe that print-on-demand merch is your first product. Now, you can add that on later and get and pick up an additional revenue stream later on, but that should not be your first or second or even third source of income. Also, too, if you're doing print on demand, you've got to split that money with Spring or Teespring, whatever merch company you decide to go with. And so, in my opinion, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. There are so many better opportunities out there where if you are relying solely on merch, you're going to be disappointed, and you're going to have to keep refreshing the merch. It's going to go stale after a little while. You're going to have to come up with new logo ideas or new sayings and things of that nature. And so it can take more time than you anticipate, which can be another issue. Number 12, link trees with 15 offers. Now, this is a pet peeve of mine. Oftentimes, people will say, I'm going to get a link tree. And if you don't know, a link tree, basically, it's a one-page website, which is great. But you can put a bunch of buttons that link out to different things. And the problem with that, on the surface, it sounds like a good idea. I'm going to give my following a bunch of options. It seems like a good idea. However, the problem is the more options you give somebody, the lower the conversions. The conversions will decrease something like 25% for every additional button that you add on. Often, too, it's hard for people to have a clear understanding of what the differences are on the button. So, for example, let's say you are teaching people how to start a YouTube channel. You'll have a button with like a free training to start a YouTube channel. And then you might have a button for the best YouTube tips. People will see all of these buttons, they'll get overwhelmed and they won't take any action. Or simply, when you see all these buttons, people will say, okay, I'll come back to it. And then they get busy or they get distracted or they just forget and then they wind up not coming back. What I think you should do is have people move in one linear direction. So they go from your content to maybe something free, like a freebie or a lead magnet, or go from the content to a paid digital product or service. That way you're moving them forward. You're actually getting something from them, whether it's money, which is great, or it's just their name and their email. But if you give people too many options, a lot of people are indecisive and they won't take any action, and you've lost that person. They get overwhelmed, they get frustrated, and they are more likely going to run from pain. Number 12, the freebie hamster wheel. One big issue that a lot of people do is they're not simply capturing their target audience. And what I mean by that is you're just creating content. You don't put anything in the description to capture the name and the email of your target audience. And the reason that's a huge problem is we know that the algorithm changes. We know that consumer sentiment changes. We know that YouTube changes pretty frequently. And so the only way to guarantee that you show up in front of your target audience is to capture their name and their email so you can send them an email. Doing email marketing is the hidden secret of all successful YouTubers. People that are really successful on YouTube are doing email marketing. People that are struggling, they do email marketing inconsistently. People that aren't doing email marketing at all are chasing views and chasing the algorithm, chasing virality. When you do email marketing, you can sell more things. You can send people back to your content. And you can actually get ideas, and you can do brand deals and sponsorships. There's so many more benefits to do email marketing, and it's really simple. You just identify a problem or a pain point that your target audience has. You create a lead magnet, a freebie, something you're going to give away for free. It can be a planner, cheat sheet, workbook, ebook, guide, something along those lines. You offer it to them by putting a link in the description of your videos, add a call to action in your content. And then they click on it, say, yeah, I want that free thing. They're going to click on that link. They're going to go to a landing page where they enter in their name and their email. Then you've got their email on the mailing list. The first email you send them is going to be a link to that thing that they signed up for. But the best part about it is after that, you can send them emails selling affiliate products, your own products, or even saying, hey, I just uploaded a brand new video. Come check it out. If you want to grow, that's the way to do it. That's the hidden secret. That's the secret a lot of people don't know, or at least won't share. Number 11, mid-roll spam to boost RPM. Here, people are, and there's not as much control over it as it used to be, but I saw people that would do like an ad every minute, every minute and a half, every 2 minutes sometimes, which isn't terrible, but um, people think, hey, the more ads or mid rolls I have, the more money I can make. The alternative is that you frustrate your viewer and your viewer clicks off and they leave earlier, and then they decide not to watch your content because it's all spam. Also, I would also recommend putting on some kind of guardrails to make sure that the right types of ads are showing up for your community. That'll help as well. But I think a big one, like I said, number 11, is to just have a bunch of mid rolls in there. I've seen courses where people are saying, like, do it as much as possible. If you could stack two every 2 minutes, so like you could do one a minute, throw it in there because somebody's gonna click, or you're gonna get paid more money. And that's not necessarily the case. People stop watching TV because the amount of commercials. And if you have too many ads in there, people are going to stop watching your channel. So make sure that you find a right balance. We obviously want you to get paid and make money, but we don't want you to have ads every 10 seconds, which will really turn your customers off. Number 10, low ticket Amazon only affiliates. This is a huge mistake that a lot of people make, and they say affiliate marketing doesn't work. What you've got to realize is that there are over 12,000 affiliate programs out there. Most YouTubers will gravitate toward Amazon because Amazon accepts everybody. Amazon has a very strong brand and name recognition, but Amazon doesn't pay the best. If you just spend a little bit more time and do a little bit more research, you'll be able to find affiliate programs that pay more and will have a better deals for the creators. In fact, what you can do is if there's a company that you really like and they don't have an affiliate program, you can reach out to them and simply ask them, hey, I have a YouTube channel. I have X number of subscribers. My most recent video got 12,000 views. I was wondering, do you have an affiliate program, or would you be willing to set that up? In general, what you've got to realize is that physical products are going to have a lower commission base than digital products because there's more overhead. The cost of doing business is higher. So promoting, selling physical products is okay. Just know that there's some caveats with it. What I tell people to do is to try and find products that are at least $25 so that you can make something. However, you probably want to try and find things that are $100, $200, $300 so that you're making a decent amount of money, or find products that need accessories to go with them so that you can make a decent amount of money and you don't think that affiliate marketing is a scam. But I think a big issue is low ticket Amazon affiliates, and I see it all the time. And I think as a result, people start promoting products and services that they aren't necessarily aligned with, which can be a detriment to your channel. Number 9, giveaway driven growth. Now this is a revenue pit, and I've actually done this before. I think I gave away PayPal gift cards. While it might feel like that's working, the second you stop, those people are going to go away. Or, you're going to wind up finding people are trying to find ways to scam the $50. I don't know if scam's the right word. They're trying to manipulate the system so that they can make the $50. What sometimes happens, I think happened with me, is a person will, enter to win. And then they might have like 15, 30, 40 family and friends. Or they've created a bunch of YouTube accounts to try and win it, right? To give themselves better odds. Or you just have people that will, and this really happened to me, you had people pretending to, people pretending to be the winner. That's actually something different, but people pretend to be the winner in order to get the money. But like I said, you will hurt yourself in the long run because those people aren't there to watch your content. In fact, they'll start messaging you and saying, hey, are you doing another giveaway? When are you doing another giveaway? And if you say, hey, I'm going to take a break on those giveaways, they won't show up because they've only come to you because you were giving them something other than content, and you're losing money in the long run. You're not making that money back. And sub count is a vanity metric that doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. So I'm going to tell you, don't do giveaways. Just bite the bullet. Try and take a little bit longer to grow. It can feel like forever, but Just go the organic way. Okay. Number 8, one-off brand deals as your main income. Now, I am firmly against brand deals for a few reasons. One, usually they underbid. For example, I had a company, it was called InVideo, that came to me a few years ago when the AI video boom first started. They said, hey, we'll pay you $500 for a 1-minute video or like a 1-minute ad. They wanted me to create a video saying how AI videos were the wave of the future. It was the best way to make money on YouTube, right? First, it was kind of unethical. They said they would only pay me $500. The problem with that is they know they have what's called a lifetime value of a customer. They have a score, a dollar amount each customer represents to them. For example, let's say they have a lifetime value of $100 per customer. They pay me $500. They get 20 customers out of it. Each one of those 20 customers makes $100. They have made more than what they paid, significantly more than what they paid. And they didn't want to negotiate with me because, they thought they were just giving me, cutting me a deal. If you know the value of your customers, you'll realize that most brand deals aren't worth it. You're better off creating your own digital product or service to get paid. I feel like brand deals are incredibly short-term, short-sighted. It can be difficult to get them consistently, and that's a huge problem. So you get a nice little boost of $500 today, but what about 2-3 weeks from now? You'll be looking for different ways to boost your income, and you kind of start creating content or making ads that aren't really aligned with your beliefs. And another issue too is you might actually create ads and sponsorships, partnerships that aren't relevant to your target audience. For example, there's this video. I think a guy that I watch, his name is Quick Slice. He'll routinely have ads about cologne. I'm not interested in cologne. I don't watch your content for cologne, and so it's kind of a turnoff. The next one, shorts only ad share is a business model. This is a terrible idea. Getting paid by shorts. Now, the reason why shorts as the primary business model is because the shorts payouts are incredibly low. First of all, you need 10 million views in the last 90 days. It's an incredibly high number, but the payouts are extremely low. So not only do you need a high number to get entered into the program, you need to continuously have a high number of views in order to make a decent amount of money. Is it possible? Yeah. Is it possible to do it consistently? Not necessarily. That's the trouble. And you wind up hopping on viral trends and you're piggybacking off of that stuff, and you're having to spit out 20 or 30 videos per day in order to give yourself a chance. You're going to wind up spending a bunch of time trying to do the shorts thing. I think that the algorithm for shorts is even more finicky than the algorithm for long form content. I think that the shorts can be saturated, and you always have to worry about changes in the algorithm, changes in the monetization. And speaking about AdSense is how YouTubers get paid by YouTube. AdSense only in low RPM niches. Now, this is a huge problem. Again, in order to make a decent amount of money in the low RPM niches, you have to get tons of views. So like the entertainment industry, for example, you have to get 500,000 views per month for it to be worth it because the RPM is so low. Can you do that consistently? How many videos do you have to upload per day or per week in order to meet your income goals? We also know that it's incredibly finicky, and you run the risk of being demonetized and copyright strikes and all these other things that it might not even be worth it. As I mentioned, the RPM swings, and they can swing per season, they can swing per video, and they can even swing by who's watching the video. So what do I mean by that? Right now we're in Q4. This is a time where marketers love to spend money. So the CPMs are going to be high. If you're creating content for the United States, high RPMs. If you're creating content in one of the big four, health, wealth, relationships, technology, high RPM. But let's say in January, quarter 1, advertisers aren't going to have as much money. Your primary audience is a developing country, right? Yeah, so just those two factors alone are going to have a great reduction of income. So you don't want to focus on RPMs in general, getting paid by the platforms, but especially low RPM niches. Number 5, paid shout outs for random small brands. This is incredibly inconsistent. It does feel like it's a easy $100 or $500, but this is inconsistent. And you don't really know who you're promoting. You always want to be very careful about your brand, be very protective of it, because if you promoted some brand and it turns out that they're shady or, scammers, you're kind of roped in with that, and people could try and find you liable. So you always want to be very protective. In fact, there were some big YouTubers that got caught up in that a few years back. I can't remember. It was like I don't remember. I don't want to speculate, but you don't want to associate with negative, with things that ultimately are going to be negative. And if people are paying for like a paid shout out, unless you do thorough research, I would personally stay away. Also, as it says here, it erodes the viewer's trust because you are getting paid to shout somebody out and you don't know who they are. Consumers, your customers, your viewers aren't going to trust you as much, and you can have a hard time getting them to come back for future videos. Number 4, MCN Rev-Share contracts, promise of deals and support. However, the problem is you get locked in. You are giving up way more than your revenue, way more of your revenue, and there might not really be any long-term benefits. You don't want to be. One of the benefits of having a YouTube channel is that you're not contractually bound to really anything. Obviously, there's copyright and trademark and things of that nature, but when you start getting into these Rev-Share contracts, you might have to create a certain type of content. You might be bound to the amount of content you promote. It turns into kind of like a job, and it ultimately might not be worth it, and they're taking a significant amount of money. Also, you've got to look at who owns the content once you create it. Do you own it? Do they own it? What are some of the background on that? Number 3, low quality CPA offers. If you're not familiar, CPA stands for cost per action or cost per acquisition. Some people will have a CPA offer. Let's say you're in the gaming niche and you go find a CPA offer where people can enter to win a PlayStation 5. However, nobody ever wins that PlayStation 5. That erodes your viewers' trust. Sure, you make a couple dollars off of it, but you are opening up your community to spam and scam and just, those shady emails, and people will stop trusting you. You'll start losing that brand recognition, that brand quality that you've worked so hard for. And you don't want to lose that, because once you lose it, you can't get it back, or it takes 10 times as long to get it back if you lose it. Another one is unlicensed compilation reaction channels. The huge problem with that is you can simply lose your channel. It is easy to go viral with it, but it could be taken away from you at any point. Like I said, you have to worry about copyright strikes, demonetization, and zero brand equity. People will see you as just a commodity, and they won't look for you. Nobody will ask where did the channel go. You want to make sure that you are putting your face on these compilation. You want to make sure that you're putting your face on reaction and really being the authority. And then last one, shady high CPM sponsorships. So like the gambling, crypto, scammy apps, those are really prevalent. If you're a YouTuber, those are really prevalent, where people will offer $5,000 for you to promote their gambling. That can be a violation of YouTube's terms of service. It could open you up to liability, which is really scary. You could, get sued, and you can lose your brand recognition. I think the biggest thing you got to understand is the one thing you got to protect is your brand, right? The only thing that you have is your brand name, and the way that your viewers see you. If you lose that, it's impossible to get it back. You'll have to work 10 times as hard to get it back. It'll hurt your click-through rate. It'll hurt your retention and watch time. And even depending on the type of content you create, you could just get your channel terminated completely, which is something that you don't want, right? So I spent a lot of time talking about the 15 worst. If you want to know my number one, I'll give you my top 5 best ways to monetize. Comment monetize down below, and I'll create a separate video. Also, create 25-minute club. This is a little bit longer video, but I think it's very important because as a YouTuber, no one is telling us about these things. We are falling into these traps, and we are learning too late that there are other better ways to monetize. So make sure that you comment 25 minutes to let me know that you stayed until the end. Let me know if you've fallen into any of these traps or scams so that we can work together to pull ourselves up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.